Hey, my name is Brendan. I am the owner and operator of Convirtue. We are the #1 marketing agency shaking up the independent insurance industry. You probably received a cold email from us, possibly found us through Google or on social, but excited for you to learn more about our service. I'm going to give you some insight in how we actually roll out our digital marketing programs for our clients. So let's dive right into things. Firstly, to introduce myself, as I mentioned, my name is Brandon. I started Convirtue about 3 years ago, and it came out of my experience working directly at an independent insurance agency. I was essentially hired as a digital marketing specialist to handle all things digital marketing. At the time, this independent insurance agency was investing entirely in Google AdWords, spending anywhere from $150 to $300 a day and really not seeing any sort of results. But the marketing agency that they were outsourcing were essentially handing over vanity metrics like impressions and clicks, but it just really wasn't generating any sort of qualified leads or ultimately revenue. But unfortunately, the insurance agency principal didn't really know any better. They didn't know any sort of other alternatives. But the marketing agency didn't want to lose a client, so they were just essentially sending over those vanity metrics. So it was really easy for me to see, that strategy wasn't working. We actually do not recommend Google AdWords for the majority of our clients because you're essentially stacking yourself up against the direct carriers that you're selling, like the State Farms, the Liberties. These guys have around a quarter million, upwards to $500,000 to spend every single day on Google AdWords. And if you know the bidding process, insurance, the keyword insurance, is arguably the most expensive. So it just doesn't really make sense for the independent insurance agent to compete in that sense. So what I did was propose investing entirely in content marketing and SEO. And from there, we were able to grow the agency and become the top ranking agency in the state of Connecticut. And during that time, I just saw that it was so easy for myself to roll out this program and outrank the other competitors within their particular state. We rolled that out to other states, but during that time, just saw that there was a huge opportunity in that this particular industry was wildly underserved, and there was a lot of deceptive practices that were going on with these insurance marketing agencies, essentially just taking advantage of this industry. So I really wanted to change that. Essentially, launched Convirtue in 2020, early 2020, and we're built on four principles: integrity, persistency, innovation, and most certainly delivering results. And we do this with a 100% money back guarantee, meaning that if we do not increase your qualified website traffic within the first few months of working with us, you'll receive 100% of your money back. And we do that because we're so confident in the results that we deliver for our clients. So if we were to work together, if you're interested in hopping on a call, we'll talk through a set of questions and through an intake form and really understand your agency. We understand that agencies are vastly different. There's a lot of industries, especially on the commercial lines, that insurance agencies specialize in, or zooming out a little bit further, if they're just purely commercial based or personal based. We really want to understand that and then talk through your customer acquisition strategy, what has worked and what you see as needing improvement. Then we also talk through the threats, which most certainly is affecting your particular insurance agency. This particular example that we sent over for a prospect, but looking at local competitors within your state, a lot of insurance agencies have found out that content marketing is the best channel to really grow their agency. So there are competitors within your state, most likely. We can't say for sure, but we'll talk through that and be able to extract that through software that we have to see what the competitive landscape is. Second being the large national carriers. These carriers are really investing in these online tools where a certain person can get insurance within a few minutes, going directly with a carrier. So they are investing in content marketing, but also the AdWords that I mentioned before. Also looking at the online direct carriers, the Hippos, the Lemonades. These guys are really accommodating to the modern insurance consumer that does not want to pick up the phone, does not want to talk to an agent. They want to get a quote within a 10 to 15-minute spans. If you do not have a website that really accommodates to the modern insurance consumer, well, you're losing out on that market share. And then the last being the online aggregators, where people can comparison shop. You can argue that you want to stay away from those particular people because they are the penny pinchers. The idea really is that these particular websites are creating these online experiences for, again, the modern insurance consumer that really wants to shop for insurance online. Always like to mention this on our demos that 74% of insurance consumers turn to online research to make purchasing decisions, and most start their journey with a Google search. And as you know, most people do not venture past page one of Google. So you're really missing out on an opportunity to capture the modern insurance consumer that is interested in doing their own research and evaluating if they want to work with your business based on how modern your website looks, based on how many Google reviews that you have, based on the information that they find on your website. If it doesn't accommodate with, the standard industry practices, you're losing out on that market share, and they're going to the direct carriers, or they're going to those online direct consumer carriers as well. So on this call, we'll talk through what's working on your website, as well as your entire digital foundation, from your social platforms to your Google reviews, etc. A large majority of the time, websites are up to industry standard, with general site usability being up to par. Really depends, but I would say 90% of the insurance agency websites will, at least have those pieces there. Also looking at your social platforms, making sure that it is optimized and aligns with branding on your website, as well as content distribution, really staying top of mind of consumers. It's really important to publish unique content. And then also your Google My Business listing. That's almost a separate entity outside of the website that needs further SEO optimization, content distribution, and ultimately social proofing, building up reviews. So it's really important to have an optimized Google My Business listing. And then talking through what needs work, or the growth opportunities. And this is probably across 60 to 70% of the insurance agency websites that we come across. They deal with this issue, or have this issue of duplicate content. What duplicate content is, essentially, it's a cookie cutter-esque website. So I'll show you a quick example through a Google Search Central, which they've rolled this out as early as 2008, and they do not want websites that have multiple pieces of content, that have duplicate content. What this means is, again, a lot of these websites have, or insurance websites have, a cookie cutter template, meaning that the same exact content is rolled across a particular policy page. For example, let's say workers' comp insurance or home insurance. A lot of these insurance marketing agencies create these websites, and they just essentially change the color scheme and the logos, but the content's all the same. When someone types in a particular keyword like workers' comp insurance or home insurance into Google, their algorithm is going through and scraping the entire internet to find the most relevant resource. If they see that there's 200 to 300 plus websites, which we've come across with these cookie cutter-esque websites, they couple them together and kind of push them aside, because again, it goes against their guidelines, and it doesn't allow their algorithm to properly scrape. So if they see that there's 100 of these websites with the same exact content, they can't figure out which is the more relevant resource. So again, they push that aside. So this is across 60 to 70% of the websites that we've come across. This issue alone is really hindering any sort of traffic to your website, and you can do all of the the greatest backlinking strategies and all this other stuff within SEO. If that issue is present, you're really not going to progress in any means. So that's a really low-hanging fruit opportunity, in that you would need to inject unique content. It would make sense to hire an SEO specialist or writer to do so. We can do that for you, and do that for our clients. So if you're interested in learning more about that issue particularly, feel free to reach out to me, Brandon@convirtue.com, and I can essentially run an audit of your website and figure out if that issue is present. Moving into conversion optimization, this is where you would optimize your website for the modern insurance consumer that wants to get a quote immediately, or wants to go actually through the quoting process. There are a plethora of different parameters to optimize your website to increase conversion, one of which is having at most 3 to 4 fields on a quote form. The idea here is capture the crucial information of their first name, their email, and their phone number, as well as the insurance that they need. From there, you would move them into an additional sequence where they can go through the quoting process through a service like Canopy, and get quotes immediately through that individual software. A lot of the times, agents will push someone to a long form that has over 50 fields. I understand that that information is is crucial to actually generate a quote, but a lot of people will get conversion fatigue, and they'll jump ship, and they'll go to another agency or go to another um, uh, insurance carrier that provides a more modern means of capturing this information. So just an example there, really a best practice if you'd like to implement that. Moving into local directory management. So the idea here is with backlinking, you want to tell Google that you're a local resource within your state. So you want to tell Google that you're an insurance expert, but also local within your region. So we're able to develop these. We have around 300 of these directories that you'll be listed on, but also looking at industry-specific directories, for example, within the insurance space, as well as content-related websites. It's important to receive backlinks. There's 3 pillars in a successful SEO campaign. There's having an optimized website that Google can properly index. There's content creation, so you're required to constantly publish content to tell Google that you are a relevant resource. But then there's also content promotion. This is where you're receiving backlinks from other websites, where Google can recognize you as an industry expert because other businesses are recommending yours. Then moving into the personalization, that really goes into the duplicate content issue. A lot of the times, these websites have stock photos, and it actually has been researched that stock photos hinder conversion because they just view your website as kind of low quality, and there's no kind of differentiation between there. So Google's able to scrape and actually see if you have duplicate images, which negatively affect your ranking. But also looking at it in the insurance consumer perspective, what's the reason why someone wants to work with an independent insurance agent? It's because you are local. It's because you're active in your community. It's because they know the agency principal directly or the CSR. If images aren't present on the website, they're just going to view you as another nameless 1-800 carrier. So it's really important to inject those images. So getting pictures of your team, your office, you active in your community is really important for personal branding. So we also extract, as I mentioned before, your local competition, see how you guys stack up to your local competitors, and then also looking at our clients. We also provide a complete roadmap to implement yourself if you'd like to take full reins in here. We are very much a turnkey solution, so we're able to do this for you if you're not well equipped or do not have an internal resource. And then looking at how we actually deliver results. I know a lot of the times the conception is that SEO takes anywhere from 12 months to 2 years. That's most certainly not the case with what we're able to roll out for our clients. We really see that hockey stick growth happen within the first six months, but you'll still start to see, and the leads will start to compound over time. And the beauty of SEO is that the amount invested stays the same throughout the partnership if we were going to work together, and things really just compound over time because eventually Google recognizes you as an industry expert in your area. But if you'd like to really scale that out to different states or really look at it in a nationwide perspective, that just lays down the foundation where you can keep building from there. And that's exactly what we do for our clients that stick with us for 3 to 4 years. We can really start to roll out kind of a national scale. But the idea really is to really dominate within your region and your state. So I appreciate you taking the time to watch this. If you are interested in learning more, you can, on our website right below this video, enter in your information, meaning your website URL. From there, we can perform an audit and we can hand off this audit to you in a simple PDF form, or if you're interested in hopping on a demo, we can talk through exactly what your agency is doing for customer acquisition, lead gen, and how we can really revamp or really build upon that strategy. You can email me directly at brandon@convirtue.com. You can find our phone number in the top level menu or on our website. Again, appreciate you watching this and hope to connect with you soon. Thanks. Bye.